When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want to get access to my content early, check out my Discord. This is My Zombie Apocalypse Academia Part 2, Friends or Foe. The more Deku drove the van, the more that the image of the military school academy fades in the distance. He checked his phone, still got no signal, no bars whatsoever. He turned on the radio to hear the same emergency broadcast warning the civilians to seek shelter immediately. The entire city went under martial law. As it repeats, he is extremely worried about his mother. He refocused his attention on the road. By the gas gauge, I should have plenty of gas to get to the city. Hopefully mother's alright. As he heard the engine start to make noise, and smoke begins to escape from the hood of the van. God damn it. I haven't been on the road, not even an hour. And the van's crapping out on me. There's a gas station up ahead. Hopefully, the engine could last long enough to get there at least. The van barely made it to the gas station that had several dozens, a good amount of zombies walking around, while the other zombies were trying to break down the door to the gas station building, or the gas station store building, where they go in to pay for gas and all that stuff. So I'll just call it building for now on, so you know what I mean. Deku could see survivors inside. He doesn't know how many. He just saw the boy. The older boy was the black trench coat, with part of his face burnt, as he has stitches separating from his burnt skin to his normal skin. Luckily, the zombies haven't noticed Deku yet, so he calmly and quietly opened the door to the van and gently closed it behind him. He's on the far end of the gas station, so there's a lot of space between him and the zombies. He kept his gun in his holster. The holster itself is on the side of his hip. That's being covered by his military school uniform coat that he's still wearing. As he creates 2 freshly made machetes that has curves along the blade to cause more damage, making it easy to pierce the flesh. Inside the gas station building, Dabi is pacing around, figuring out how he's going to get himself and Toga out of this. Ever since this goddamn outbreak, all of his plans went to shit. It's pretty much about surviving now. He has to get back to the city to grab a couple of things from his crib that he would rather have on his person. Meanwhile, Toga is on the cashier counter, just eating a popsicle. Completely ignoring the zombies that are pounding on the door, just kicking her feet out. Like she doesn't have a worry in the world. Relax, Dobby. You don't want to get wrinkles now. Stress is not good for you. They're being eaten by man-eating cannibals. I believe the terms are zombies. Whatever. Toga noticed a van that parked on the far end of the gas station. Well, it looks like we got some company. As she hopped off the cashier counter and landed on her feet, as she threw the popsicle stick over her shoulder as it flies into the trash can. How many? Not sure. It was a van that parked, so the numbers could be 1 to several. The van parked in the usual spot where the diesel trucks usually park. Like I said, it could be 1 or several. Do you think they're hostile? Do I look like a fortune teller to you? I don't got a fucking idea. Stitches? We're stuck here regardless. We have no weapons. You might be able to use your fire on a couple of these zombies with your cremation cork. We still don't know if one of those zombies is one of the ones that can regenerate. Don't remind me that singular zombie, as you phrase it, was a bitch to kill. Exactly. Let's just sit tight and wait and see how things play out. And if they're hostile, we'll kill them. It's pretty simple. Outside the gas station building, Deku slowly approached one of the closest roaming zombies by sneaking up behind it and slamming the machete right into the back of the skull of the zombie. Then he yanked the machete out of his head as he used his other katana to chop off the head. As the body and head dropped to the floor of the cement ground, Deku swung his machete back of one of the knees of the nearest zombie, chopping off his leg before the zombie's face could hit the ground, the hard concrete ground. Deku plunged his machete into the skull of the zombie, then yanking his blade out of the skull. Blood began to spray from the action of roughly removing the machete from a human skull. By that time, zombies noticed Deku as a few of them turned around and stopped trying to break into the gas station building and began to walk towards Deku. Deku threw both of his machetes. Both of the machetes plunged into 2 zombie skulls, killing them, as Deku started to create and throw throwing knives. One zombie after another was being killed by his pretty impressive accuracy with those throwing knives, while Toga and Dobby were watching inside safety of the building. When Deku got the number where he could easily handle them with his firearm, he threw out more of his throwing knives, killing many zombies. Then he pulled something out of his military school jacket and unlatched the pistol from the holster. Then immediately pointed his firearm at the closest zombie. As there was a loud gunshot sound could be heard, as the zombie instantly fell down to the ground dead, as the rest of the zombies immediately took their focus off Dobby and Toga and turned their focus towards Deku, who's currently the closest source of food for them to devour. A few of the zombies charged Deku. Deku easily took them out with a well-placed shot, shooting the 2 zombies in the head. Deku dodged out of the way of a charging zombie and placed the barrel of his gun underneath the zombie's chin and pulled the trigger a few times. The first bullet didn't go through the brain, but the second one did. Deku spun around and threw out a couple throwing knives. Once, hitting 2 zombies in the head, then hitting a third in the chest. Deku opened fire once again, killing a few more zombies, then exiting the empty magazine, then loading up a full magazine into the handgun in a swift motion. With the zombies' numbers killed, with a good amount of the zombies' numbers already killed, Toga immediately acted and ran out of the building and threw several of her own knives at a few zombies. While Dabi wasn't too far behind, taking out a few zombies with a bat, not wanting to use his fire because of the whole being in a gas station thing. He doesn't want to ignite the entire place to blow up. It would indeed kill the zombies, but it would also kill him and his crazy blonde comrade, companion, and the green hair boy that's been killing zombies like it was a daily occurrence. Deku killed another zombie with his handgun, then created weapons as he tossed Dabi a machete and created a sword for Toga. Deku had a feeling she was more used to slashes and stabs, judging by how she moves and how she's been throwing some sort of knives with great accuracy. Deku had no idea where she keeps them all. Dabi immediately caught the machete and began to mow down zombie after zombie. Toga, on the other hand, couldn't stop the smile on her face, having a new shiny new toy to use. Ever since this zombie apocalypse, she hasn't had to hide what she is. Heroes are in shambles, barely surviving, scattered. And there are several survivors scattered all around, and plenty of zombies to kill. Sadly, she's not interested in their blood. If she's lucky, she might come across some hostile survivors, so she could have her fun. But for now, she wants to take care of the zombies. She wants to talk to the new boy with the green hair. She's a bit interested in him already. She mostly cares about the guy. She could tell she's a few years older than him, but by his looks and the military school uniform he's wearing, she has a feeling where he came from. Interesting. He must have fought his way out of that school. That place is most likely infested with these zombies as well. If I remember right, that military school is not that far away. No matter, as she cut a zombie's head in half with the katana that Deku made her. Deku ended up shooting the last zombie in the head, but instead of the zombie staying down on the ground, to Deku's surprise and shock, it got back up as the bullet was pushed out of the skull of the zombie, as the wound instantly healed itself, regenerating. What the fuck? Oh shit. Dabi, we got a regenerator. Fucking called it. I knew one of those bastards were here. Hey, new kid. We could do the whole introductions later, but we need to take care of this fucker and take him down. It can regenerate, so killing it won't be easy. It'll be quite difficult. We need to lure it away from the gas station. I can't use my quirk. The gas station and fire don't mix. So I take it the headshot will be completely useless. Pretty much. You could probably put a lot of strain on the regeneration ability that the zombie has. He'll most likely have a regeneration quirk before he was turned into a goddamn cannibal, most likely. These are just my theories. There's no solid proof. But I fought a couple of these things already. Thanks for the info. I'll see what I can do. Deku slashed the zombie across the face with one of his machetes that he threw earlier. To keep the zombie's attention on himself as he slowly begins to lure the zombie away from the gas station, while Toga and Dabi followed from a distance, so they don't attract the regeneration zombie until they're far enough from the gas station. They finally went far enough from the gas station. All three of them acted immediately. Toga stabbed her katana into the head of the zombie while Deku chopped off his head, while Dabi used his cremation to burn the body and head of the zombie. Only for the zombie to get right back up, headless, as a huge worm popped out of the neck of the zombie and screech. All three of them could see it, and the drool coming from the sharp teeth emanating from the worm's mouth. Fuck is that? Creepy. Kill it. Large purple worm leaped out of the neck of the zombie and went right towards Deku. With his mouth extended and his sharp teeth clearly visible, only for Toga to throw one of her knives, pinning and lodging the worm against the tree that's nearby. Deku narrowed his eyes at the worm and immediately opened fire with his gun, a bit irritated that he was taken off guard. If it wasn't for the blonde, that thing would have got him. Dabi immediately began to burn the purple worm that is still pinned to the tree with his cremation, as all three of them could hear the screech of pain until the worm was forced to unlodge itself from the tree as the knife was pulled out of his body, as the worm hissed at the three of them and dug into the ground, while Dabi burned where it was, trying to get it. What the fuck was that thing? I've never seen anything like that. The only reason Deku didn't recognize the worm that was in the video he saw with Bakugo, was that cat attack that attacked those two guys on the video that he showed Deku. It moved so fast, so Deku and Bakugo didn't catch it. Only if they replayed the video in slow motion, they would have spotted. But neither of the two boys took it seriously at the time. I've never seen one of those things before. We should probably get inside. If there's any zombies in the area, they'll most likely be attracted by the loud noises in the fire I just made, as they watch the burning tree, still burning, from Dabi's cremation quirk. It won't burn long. It will be completely burned. Well, the tree will be completely destroyed before the flames finally die out. Deku grabbed his backpack from the van and followed the guy with the trench coat and overly happy blonde into the building of the gas station. So, kid, who are you? Judging by your attire, you're from one of those private schools. Technically, Dabi, he's from a military school academy. Those are the uniforms they usually wear. I've killed a couple of them in the past, so I know what they look like. Deku chose not to remark on the last part that the blonde mentioned. What she says is true. I am from the military academy. The place was infested with those things, those zombies. Even though I scoff at the idea, it's pretty hard to deny the facts that that's what they are. For my name, I go by Deku. Sorry, I go by Izuku. Name's Dabi. Izuku. Toga got immediately close in an instant and grabbed both of his hands and introduced herself by shaking his hands. My name's Toga. Nice to meet you, Izuku. And she has a grin on her face. Down, Toga. You don't want to scare the guy off. I take it how you've been creating those weapons. You must have some sort of creation quirk, I'm guessing. And judging by those colors of your fire, cremation, I believe. Smart. But you're not entirely wrong in your analyzation of my quirk. It's not a complete creation quirk. What do you mean, Izuku-kun? My quirk only allows me to make weapons, blades, knives, guns, and ammunition. Haven't figured out how to create guns yet. I might be able to, but that doesn't mean I know how. Nice, you're basically a weapon factory. Considering we're in some sort of zombie apocalypse, your quirk, your abilities would be quite useful. Targeted, most likely, you would be quite useful for any group of survivors, or a threat. It crossed my mind that the zombies wouldn't be the only danger I would face. Deku checked his phone, once again, with no luck. Wasting your time, cell phones don't work. They haven't worked in like a couple days. Well, that's just dandy. You got plans? Not really. I just need to go back to my crib, grab a couple of things. The crazy blonde over there just been tagging along. What about you, Deku-kun? Why don't you join us? We got room for one more. And it's quite dangerous to be alone. As much as I hate to admit it, Toga's right. Toga does have a point. I do prefer to work alone, but there is merit in what you two say. I'll think about it. But for the time being, we could stick together. But I do need to go back to the city to see if my mother's okay. That should work. We're heading into the city anyways. And we'll definitely need to get you be able to make guns. If you plan to stay with us for any time, like you said, you're thinking about it. And that's cool with me, man. But what sort of material would you need, so we don't waste our time salvaging for weapons? You do have a point, and I agree. I do need to be able to make guns. I need that. I need to be able to make firearms sooner or later. Sooner than later, in my mind. What exactly do you need? Books, material. I have some books already in my bag, but it's not enough. We'll keep a lookout if we ever come across any material like that. What about the van you came in? I'm not sure what happened to it, but to me it looked like the engine overheated. I know I'm no expert when it comes to mechanics. Don't worry. I know a few things. Izuku, come on, help me, and push the van closer to the gas station. You, stand watch, Toga. As Zabi hand her binoculars, as Deku hand her a walkie alongside with Dabi. But the walkies on Channel 3. We'll be able to keep in contact with each other. If you see anything, Toga, contact one of us. Anything for you, Izuku-kun. They walked out, so what was all the Izuku-kun and all at the end of my name was Toga. By this time, they're outside of the building. I don't got a fucking clue, man. I don't know anything about her, nor do I want to know anything about that crazy blonde. Just count your lucky stars. She hasn't cut you yet. She's a bit obsessed over blood. Izuku didn't seem to be bothered by it. He knows full well some quirks occasionally does have somewhat of an altering effect on someone's personality, depending on the quirk. That depends on how much the personality will be altered by the effect of the quirk. Like Bakugo's case, because he has an explosion, he's more prone to his angry outburst. Same with almost every fire user, to a lessened degree. Bakugo is an extreme case. Some cases are more severe than others. So judging by how your school uniform was covered in blood, you had to fight your way out. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Especially that mutated zombie, I think. What it was. Mutated zombie, what are you talking about? Deku begins to disclose in great detail on the mutated juggernaut of a zombie that chased him out of the storage building and into the forest on the grounds of the academy. Holy shit, man. In all honesty, I'm quite surprised you're believing all of this. If I was in your shoes, I would find it hard to believe anything I said was true. Trust me, Izuku, I've seen some crazy shit myself, not to your degree, of course. But the world got a whole lot dangerous. Got that right. They put the van in neutral and pushed the van into the gas station mechanic garage. Closed the door to the garage and opened the hood to see what I'm dealing with. Deku closed the mechanical garage and popped the hood open. Dabi immediately began to examine the engine and to see if there's any other issues that he can see that he could easily fix. By whatever spare parts this garage has. He highly doubt it, but he could get lucky. Deku went inside to see what is the blonde up to. He's no help to Dabi right now. He's no mechanic, and he'd rather not get in his way. Deku made him side, as Toga immediately greeted him with a smile. Good, someone decided to keep me company. I was starting to get lonely. Deku and Toga chose to kill some time while playing checkers that Toga found in the back somewhere when they first arrived at the gas station. I want to thank you for helping us out there. I know you didn't have to, but I'm still thankful nevertheless. No problem, Toga. I am no hero, but my mom would probably kill me if I just went on my way and abandoned you inside. Toga looked at Deku, Well, Izuku, but Deku only allows people to call him Deku, his close friends. Everyone else just calls him Izuku. Took a look at Izuku, gazing at him, trying to analyze his personality. He seems nice enough, but that doesn't mean she trusts him. She doesn't trust anyone. She doesn't trust very often, and usually when people do gain her trust, they backstab her in one way or another. That's why she's been keeping somewhat of a distance between herself and everyone else, including Dobby. It's just how she's survived until now. Dobby finally came in. Doesn't look good. The engine is most likely intact. Whatever the vehicle belongs to, apparently it was in the middle of repairs. The engine itself is fine. There's just certain components in the engine that need to be replaced. So in other words, things scrap metal. Precisely. It looks like we're going on foot the rest of the way. That's going to take us some time. And it's still currently nighttime. There's no way we're leaving now. It's way too dark. I'd rather not be out there walking in the dead of night. We'll camp here for the night. This place should shelter us from all the elements. And good timing, because it looks like a storm is coming our way. A few hours later, the rain started to come down hard. Toga is fast asleep, resting her head, back of her head, on Deku's lap, while Deku is beginning to clean his gun. Deku is not bothered by the physical contact. He's had many of the female cadets in the past to do the exact same thing. From long study sessions he's had with a group of cadets in his class before their deaths. So he wasn't bothered by Toga's actions. Even at the academy, he's always attracted the female sex quite easily, without him even trying. You don't seem to be bothered by Toga. Not one bit. I'm used to such things. The girls at the academy would do the same thing when we had group studying sessions and all that. That's fine. Only problem we have now is we don't have a whole lot of food here. I grabbed a couple of things from the academy. Not a lot, but it should hold us over until we get to the city. We'll definitely have to scavenge for more food. Agreed. I'll keep the first watch and get some rest. Deku pulled out a small blanket out of his backpack and covered Toga to make sure she wasn't cold, as he rests his eyes while he's leaning against the wall, while Toga is still sleeping peacefully on his lap, fast asleep. Toga woke up sometime during the night, covered in a warm blanket, as she noticed her head was laying on top of Deku's military jacket that was rolled up in a ball for a fast-used pillow. As she saw Dobby fast asleep, while Deku was keeping a watch, gazing out the window with the binoculars. As she sat down next to him, with the blanket still covering her body. Inside the building is quite cold, as it's still raining hard outside. Can't sleep? Not really. I can't really get comfortable in this place. I know what you mean. You can't really relax completely, considering we're not really in a guarantee safety. Pretty much. Toga rests her head on his shoulder, getting more comfortable around him, the more time she spends with him. Toga has no romantic feelings for Deku. This is just her seeking out comfort. Dabi is more like a annoying older brother to Toga, but Deku is someone new, and he doesn't seem to mind her personality. It wasn't hard for her to feel more comfortable around him, as he has the aura around him like he wouldn't judge her, like everyone else has in the past. He's never one to ask about her quirk or her more colorful comments about killing that came out of her mouth from time to time. When morning came, the three of them began their way back to the city on foot on the side of the road until they could find an abandoned car. Until then, they're on foot. As thus, we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.